Hi, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of Des Moines Metro, the Law Report, the language of real estate with your team here, Team IRG, your local real estate knowledge, or the team that's giving you that local market knowledge, right? So my name is Junior Ibarra. I am the team leader of Team IRG, and alongside me, I also have Ryan. Why don't you go?
Hey guys, nice to be here.
And Anthony as well. And so, Anthony, you want to introduce yourself?
Yep. So I'm one of the residential agents on the team, and like these other two Yahoos, we come from a very numbers-driven background and love talking market stats.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, Anthony, why don't you take it away? We like to go over, and just to remind everyone as we go into this, we really like to hit the Des Moines Metro. So within 15 miles about the core of Des Moines that touches all the suburbs touching the Des Moines city, and not quite go out as far as maybe some of the rural towns outside of the metro.
Yep. So this isn't just full DMAR stats. This is just kind of looking at the metro core, and this is single-family houses only.
Yes.
So we're seeing green line there at the top. 2023 still is trending very nicely for the season or for the seasonality of Des Moines. We're not seeing this absolutely massive growth that we've seen the last couple of years. We just officially just barely surpassed the peak of last summer in June with 318, 300 being the median sale price in June. And honestly, just being able to be on par with that of last year and not like again 15% higher is a good thing, a wonderful thing for Des Moines.
Yeah, it's good that it's not making those huge gaps like they were, like in previous years, like these big gaps that you see between, say, 2020 and the light brown over to the yellow, and then 2020 and I mean light brown to the yellow, so 2020 to 2021, and then yellow to light blue, right? 21 to 2022. Those were 15 to 20% increases in price year over year, which is why you see those huge gaps there. Now we're kind of more stable. What's nice though is in our Des Moines Metro, it's also we're not seeing a huge price decrease either, right? So unlike some markets on the coast who may be seeing more of a decline in some pricing just because of the market we're in. We're more stable, which is good overall for our Des Moines Metro. And we're always insulated being in the Midwest from those bigger swings in the market that we typically see on the coast.
Yeah, we just, I mean, we're not seeing a retraction from last year, obviously. If anything, I think the average over the last 6 months would be put us slightly above. Uh, but the fact that we're staying steady is just really good overall. There's not a big price reduction, and we're not seeing this massive amount of growth continue. So stability was great.
Yeah, there is no way that we were going to be able to continue that 15% year over year growth. No way.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it's just not sustainable. Um, days on market, no surprise here for anybody who's been looking or who's been kind of participating in the market recently. We are averaging 4 days on market or median days on market for the last 3 months. This has been the trend over the last few years. Is days on market are less than a week all through summer, and then it just slowly creeps up, kind of starting in that August timeframe. So now that we're kind of already in mid-July, somehow the summer's already basically done, it feels like. We're going to maybe start seeing things start to slowly slow down. But, we'll see if that trend continues year over year.
Yeah. Yeah, again, 4 days on market. That it's a seller's market, right? So even last year, coming into January or even January of this year, right? Like it got the highest it got was a little over 30 days on market, according to this trend line for January, February timeframe. Again, still a seller's market overall. Right. So it's just, so if you're a seller, there is opportunity out there to to really, put your house on the market and get top value. So good opportunities on that regard.
Mhm. So this is really looking at those days on market by price point and just kind of seeing how that breaks out. Again, not really a surprise. Shortest days on market are kind of right around that median price range, or honestly 200,000, kind of that 150 to $200,000 range being the absolute fastest. That is kind of right in that entry level price for Des Moines now, and seeing kind of days on market continue to increase as kind of price points go up to what is pretty high for Des Moines.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of goes to show you where, anything essentially below 350, it has 4 days or less, like we were saying just a little bit ago. So, yeah, it's interesting. And the higher price, well, a little bit more days on market, yet ultimately still a seller's market in those price points as long as you strategically price your house in within market range, right? Like you still have to talk with a real estate advisor and know where your market range is, right? So, because you can totally outprice yourself out of the market. And we still see those happen quite a bit in our market where we're like, whoa, and then it loses attention really quickly in the market. And then because most activity tends to happen in the first 8 weeks of a house being brand new on market, and even a little bit quicker now, right? Buyers do tend to lose attention a little bit faster because then if it doesn't sell, let's say you price a house in 350 or below, buyers start asking, well, why didn't it's been on the market 3 weeks? Why hasn't it sold, right? Even though there may not be anything wrong with the house. So if you don't strategically price the house correctly, you may lose out on some dollars on the table because now you're playing that psychology game that buyers go into, even though there may be nothing with the house. You just kind of priced yourself out of it a little bit. So.
And just kind of a little sneak peek on what we're going to talk about in a little bit. I found this super interesting. So this days on market breakdown is just for resale homes, just because new construction can vary so drastically on if it's a show house, being 600 days on market really skews these numbers, but between 450 and 600,000 being 2-3 days, I think is super interesting and is kind of showing or leads me to think a few things about some of the other statistics coming up. But number of houses sold, so we are actually year to date, we're up to 82% for the 5-year average, which was 80% in April. So we are making gains this year. It's been a very, productive summer. Ever so slightly more so than probably the last, 5-year average over the last 2 months. But obviously still kind of short overall from where we were, especially the last couple of years. 2021, we were almost at 1,200 houses sold in June, and we're at 900. So 30% off for what happened 2 years ago.
Yeah, and it looks like 2022 and 2020 alongside a little right around 1100 for year to date. Pre-COVID, it looks like right above 900, and what the darker blue there, about 950 or 980, close to 1,000. So still below the pre-COVID numbers, yet kind of closer to that. So yeah.
Yep. So getting back to normal for this was a relatively normal, getting almost to a normal volume for June.
Yeah. Yeah, so 18% below, technically comparing it to the average. And so, yeah, less units overall. And you probably have heard that, that's maybe some of the buzzwords you have seen on the media. Unit count is down, the market's down, and overall, technically it is, yet overall, there's still houses selling like 905, right? Almost kind of close to pre-COVID numbers.
Right. And we had a massive spike kind of towards the end of 2021 and 2020. Like those 2 years, we just had massive amount of more units selling, which pushes the averages a little bit. But yeah, kind of getting back to those pre-COVID numbers. Number of houses sold, again, no surprise where we're trending right around the median being that $300,000 mark. Um, what is slightly different than in April it was $400,000 and under made up 80% of all sales in the area, and now almost to the decimal point, it's 450 and under. So pricing is starting to shift up a little bit to make up that same volume. Um, and where I was seeing, the shorter days on market for kind of that 400 to $600,000 range, I think we're starting to see more sellers list their houses in these price ranges, and actually make that move up. Some people who maybe been sitting on the sidelines the last 2 years with all the craziness that's been happening are starting to make some moves. I think that's what these number trends are showing.
Yeah, that's kind of cool to see. I mean, and a good just, marker that stands out is that now 80% is essentially between 450 and mil, right? So yeah, that's kind of cool. And that's just inventory, like you said, maybe hitting the market in those price points finally.
Yeah, I mean, and again, this usually tends to fall off in that $500,000 to $600,000 range. Kind of has that little bit of a spike. So again, more buyers just kind of in that range. Part of this could be, I know, again, anecdotally, there's a lot of people relocating to Des Moines. And I spoke to another agent today in this kind of price range, and he's like, man, I've got like 6 different buyers who are coming from different places all around the country, from higher cost of living areas to Des Moines because we're still relatively cheap. And, they're selling, $800,000 houses, buying $500,000 houses in the same house. It's just a different part of the country.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, we are starting to see that more and more, especially on our online activity. We've noticed that as of recent is just a lot of out-of-state movers or out-of-state people moving here to Des Moines Metro. I actually just got a call again from another California person moving to Des Moines and happened to just find us online. And yeah, they and another one of our agents was talking about, it's very similar to what you just said. I really need a 3 or 4 bedroom house, about 1,500 square feet. And if we can keep that below 700, that would be great. And we're like, yes, that's very doable here in
We
our
got a couple
market.
of those.
So it's cool to kind of hear the perspectives, right, coming from other people that where real estate costs a lot more. So, but yeah, that is happening more and more in today's market, that's for sure.
New listings, still kind of seeing a strong push on new listings hitting the market. Um, I would say typically June is kind of the turnaround month where we start seeing a decline. So we'll really have to kind of watch this number into July and see if we can continue to push these new listings and keep this kind of strong summer going a little bit longer this year, or if we're just going to again kind of follow the seasonal trends as normal, and kind of go from there. But why I'm excited about this is active listings, and where that kind of ties into this is we're starting to finally see inventory recover. So if we can continue to see those new listings push for one more month, we can kind of continue to see this, I think, continue to grow, and show us more inventory on the market, which would be wonderful.
Yeah, that would
And
be cool
Anthony,
to. Oh, go
you
ahead.
mentioned resale was creeping up, right, from last month?
Yeah, so resale, I'll have to go back and check specifically, but it was down in the 30 something percent, 32, 35%, in kind of April, May. And now we're up to 43%. So kind of again seeing more houses, more sellers hitting the market versus just new construction. New construction for the last, I mean, 18 months has made up a huge portion of what's for sale in Des Moines. And we're starting to see the resale kind of with a little bit of a resurgence this summer.
Yeah, that's good to see because I mean, again, typically we're floating around above 3,000, active listings at any given time. And it looks like we got as low as below 1,500 here earlier this year. And so it's nice to see that kind of trend upwards, just to give more options for buyers out there and see more resales out there. and versus just new construction. Don't get me wrong, new construction's awesome, yet it also takes time for new construction to hit the market, right? And they're all not, even when they hit the market, they're all not complete, right? And so it's good to kind of see that resale number kind of climb up a little bit too. So this is good. Hopefully it continues to trend upwards a little bit to give everybody and all the buyers more options of listings to choose from.
More options, and then hopefully that might slow days on market down. I mean, even if it was like 6 or 7 days versus 4, that just gives everybody a little bit, just a tiny bit less stress and a little bit more time to actually go see some homes before they get sold. So that's, I think, just generally a good thing.
Yeah,
But yeah,
definitely.
and that's kind of the market recap for June. Kept this one a little bit on the shorter side. Didn't quite chat as much as we have been, but yeah, so very strong summer so far in Des Moines, and it looks like it's going to continue into July. Um, we're always here to help answer questions because this is, again, very market. Everything's very specific and hyper local, and this is looking at Des Moines, but even specific areas of Des Moines can have even hyper local differences.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, if you need anything more specific to your house, your neighborhood, your street, feel free to reach out to us and we can be of value there to make it more specific to your goals and what you know, what your goals are for real estate, and at least give you information, empower you with information to make informative decisions ultimately is our goal, right? So please give us a like, a follow, share with anyone you would find that you think would have value in seeing what's going on in the residential real estate market here in the Des Moines Metro. Uh, Stay tuned as we continue to evolve and create new things from this. But in the very near future, we're hoping to also take some tidbits out of these and make them into reels and small snippets of information to put out on our social media platforms. But yeah, this will hit YouTube and Facebook and all of our platforms. So feel free to give us a follow if you want to continue to get good information of what's happening in your local community. So we'll see you on the next one. See ya.